Hello and welcome to Thaiger Bites with Jay, Jet, and Tim.
Hello.
Hello there.
I'm in control today.
That's right, that is our buzzer for when we waffle on for too long.
Already.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Thaiger Bites is where we get to address your comments from all of our shows on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as the Thaiger Talk Forum on the website. Now, Jet is in the house. He is in Bangkok once again, all the way from Chiang Mai, so we thought this would be a good time for him to join Thaiger Bites.
Why not? We'll try it out.
This is your first time.
First time
Welcome.
reading the comments ever.
It's
Welcome.
really just that we
No.
thought it was time for him to sort of work with some professionals and learn, the finer points of doing. Okay.
Alright, Tim, why don't you start us off?
All right. I've got a funny feeling I'm very, very bright here. I'm like about a foot from the lights. Do you think? Am I looking a bit white?
It's just your white complexion.
How am I looking there, Jai?
You look good.
I suspect I'm looking rather bright. Anyway, Star Child
You're a
Uni.
star, Tim. That's why you're shining bright.
Of course. Masks off. Omicron is the sign of endemic times. Follow Denmark, follow Sweden. Move forward. Now, a lot of people have sort of shared these general sentiments, saying that it's time that we moved forward, and Omicron is the sign of the end, not the end of times, but the end of the pandemic as we move possibly towards an endemic situation. So a lot of people would be sharing your sentiment there, Star Child. So let's see what happens. We don't know, you don't know, and let's hope that you might be right.
Isn't that the name of a party, the Move Forward Party?
I was just going to say the Move Forward.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their platform.
Yeah,
The endemic times are near.
we're being trolled by Move Forward.
But yeah, I mean, it really is. Do we have any precedents for this? Like any previous pandemics in history?
Yeah,
where
there's one called the Spanish flu. You might have
Yes.
heard about that back in 1918.
when you were
Just-
my age?
just-
I haven't. No,
you were
but
gonna
the
say
thing is,
that.
like, so with that, did it become endemic eventually because of a milder strain, or did we come up with a milder one and then it got bad again?
No, well, it went through 3 or 4 phases, just the same
Yeah.
as COVID-19. In fact, this pandemic has really followed a lot of the pandemics in the past. This one, though, unlike, say, MERS and SARS, which were also coronaviruses, they were contained, but this one has not been for reasons that, well, I suppose, will be uncovered as we sort of dissect this with the history in the rearview mirror. But it's basically following the same sort of 3 or 4 year process as the Spanish flu.
All right.
So hopefully, we're in a positive trend.
Star Child is saying that a lot of people see Omicron because it's so infectious that everybody's going to get it and it's over. Now let's move on. So I get it. A lot of people just want this to be over.
Seasonal coronavirus. Maybe that's the new norm.
Yeah.
All right.
Seasonal jabs.
Moving on to our next question from DSW Pro. Now, this is from Thaiger Bites last week, and he also saw Thaiger Unfiltered with me, Jet, and Natty, and he says, Jet and Natty are actually very high so, but that's okay, as Jay and Tim are regular guys. Wish I could get Thaiger Bling shipped to the USA. When I visit in March, can I buy merch at your studios? Consider opening a store in front?
Okay, well, no
Those
to
are
the
two separate. He's sneaking in two comments here.
working
He's getting his
backwards.
money's worth.
No to the first one. The Thaiger merch is available online. The overseas sales we're having a little bit of a problem with because the postage costs to different countries are quite different. So we're working our way through that. It looks like we're going to open like a Lazada shop for overseas people because Lazada have already done the hard work, and you'll be able to buy these cups and t-shirts. You won't be able to buy lumberjack shirts though.
Unfortunately.
You're gonna have to find that in your home country.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Ask your local lumberjack.
Yes.
All right.
Regarding the HISO
Next
statements,
Oh, okay.
how would you determine someone from being a regular guy or a HISO guy?
You're just a fancy bee. It depends what are the things you enjoy in life.
Well, Nettie's a bit fancy. Jay, not so sure. Me, definitely not. I'm not fancy. I don't consider myself even
Really?
vaguely high so.
Do we want to point the camera to your flashy wardrobe with your collection of shirts?
Well, I mean, they're not high so. They're sort of Well, they're a bit plebeian, really.
Really?
Yeah, sort of Hawaiian shirt. A lot of people say you look like a 70-year-old pedophile.
Oh my goodness, that's not nice. But
That's
anyway,
not nice.
is it
Definitely not high.
But is that something you enjoy doing anyway?
being a 70-year-old pedophile? No,
I mean having a colorful wardrobe. Is that something you do normally, or you just do it for the?
It's just for
set?
the camera. I can promise you, I never wear those shirts. They hang on a hanger at the back, and it's all a bit of a show.
So what do you usually wear? Then?
This is more me.
Okay.
Just very simple, very
black.
ordinary.
Yeah.
To go with my black humor and my sarcasm.
All right.
All right.
Next question, Jet. Do you have any?
Okay. So I guess these are more.
Hurry up.
More complex, I guess. This is Daniel. He was commenting regarding the high taxi fares in Phuket. He says, I always rent a car when I'm there. I will not pay those rip-off prices. He's remarking about the recent one in 600 baht for a short ride to a hotel. You pay for the car rental, and then you drive to the airport, and then each time you drive, you've already paid for the car rental for that day. You've used it for one trip, and you've paid for it.
So all I'd say to that is if you have not driven in Thailand before, just picking up a car at the airport and thinking that everything's going to be hunky-dory, it sometimes might be a little bit challenging for some drivers because the rhythm of the traffic and the way that the motorcycles and the vans and the trucks and everybody's out there sort of using the same patch of road. It's not like driving in your home country. So I'd say think twice about that.
I agree with that. Now, you guys are Phuket locals. What do you feel? How do you feel about Phuket drivers compared to the rest of the country? Because I'll give you my comments.
Yeah. Firstly, to quickly comment, I think there are certain countries, if you come from those countries and if you can drive in those cities, you can drive anywhere. So I think if you can drive in Bangkok, you can drive anywhere in Thailand or mostly other countries too. If you can drive in places like Manila, highly densely populated cities, then yes. Phuket, I think, is a lot better than Bangkok. I would not...
Really?
I would think
so?
twice before I drove in Bangkok. I'm not used to the compactness, I would say. Like, everybody drives really closely. And also, I feel like everyone's in a rush to, like, tailgate the car in front of you because they don't want to be cut in.
This is Bangkok?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff, you've got a different view.
Kind of. I think Phuket drivers are extremely aggressive and they speed.
Really?
Yes. Well, no, I think with Bangkok, the issue is like, what lane do you pick? Which highway do you pick? Like, that's all confusing. There's just a lot of cars. But when I was in Phuket and I rented a car, like, I'm from Chiang Mai, like, we're very casual in Chiang Mai. I was just so, I was just so surprised at how fast and reckless they drive.
Well, the only difference is in Phuket, there are actually stretches of road where you can sort of get up to about 80 kilometres an hour.
Yes, and they go for it.
Sure.
I mean, dude, like, the cliff is right there when you turn, man. Like, I thought you were on holiday in Phuket. Where are you going, man? Anyway, I just feel like,
Do you sit behind the wheel saying, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing that, man? That's the way you do it, is it? Yeah, man.
Not the way you do it.
Okay.
No one can do that as good as you can. Hey, man. Anyway.
Tim's throwing things out of the window.
Man.
Right,
I'm throwing at you, man.
You're next.
eHome Fashion says, hi, do you think 2022 Thailand will be opened as normal? And now this is an interesting one because this is all part of, when is the day 5 thing for the current Test and Go version 2 going to be over? When are they going to stop doing quarantine? When are they going to stop the PCR testing? I think it's very difficult to try and measure the risk-averse nature of the Thai government. At the moment, the last 2 days, we've had about an extra 2,000 infections over the past couple of days. So the numbers, they'll probably be over 10,000 over the weekend. How is the government... Who's sending you messages?
It's my dad. Just sent me something. Let's see.
Money, no doubt. Dad, please send me money. I'm living in Chiang Mai. I've got nothing to do. I need to buy a new Game Boy.
Man, give me a Game Boy, man, as I'm driving.
So I don't think we can really pick the capricious nature of the government and their decisions. Sometime this year, surely. Maybe before Songkran, they'll get rid of the 5th day test. Then the 1 day test will go. The masks, I think, are a long way down the track. But that's a whole new topic today.
I mean, their flip-flopping track record, I wouldn't put it past them to, like, you know, have a knee-jerk reaction to some spike in cases again. So everything
fashion.
back as normal, I don't know. I wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't count on it. I think we're going to be dealing with this for a long time,
Jay?
unfortunately.
Pick a date.
17th
Of...
February.
Whoa,
Pick a
there
date
you
for
go.
what? I just thought of
Everything to be as open as normal.
Oh, I thought you just wanted me to pick a date. For everything to be normal, 2023.
Oh dear.
Yeah, March 2023.
So eHome Fashion, if you were looking for an answer, we have not provided you one, and we're very sorry.
Yeah. Hold on, I've got a comment here for Jet. Now, Nick's been a bit naughty. He's commented on Thaiger Bites, knowing that Jet doesn't watch the show or read the comments. But he's got a comment directly aimed at Jet.
That is hair.
So Jet's
It's
going to
usually
have
about his hair.
Yeah, his hair's definitely involved. But yeah, Jet's going to have an opportunity to reply back. Nick says, heard Jet on the phone now, and he's done it again. Straight out with bullshit facts. He's a strange fruit. It's probably the bread in his hairdo. How dare he? How dare he?
What are the BS facts that I'm lying about my nationality?
Yeah, you fake Thai.
I'm such a fake tie to you. Everything I say is a lie. It's a conspiracy. We're out to get you. What's his
Nick.
name? Nick.
How dare you call yourself
Just
an
for
American?
you. Yes.
You belong
I've
to the
lied.
German
It's-
fatherland.
Yes. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say to that. That's why I don't read the comments most of the time.
So Longling Ericsson, he's just got a nice comment, and we don't get a lot of these, so when they do come, we're very happy to read them. Longling Ericsson, hello. He says, news can be fun, Thaiger leads the way, makes it interesting. Thank you very much. That's what we try and do. Not this particular show, but most of the other ones.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. We're fun, man.
All right, here's another one from Rusty Graves that says, Tim doesn't smoke, drink, or take drugs, but does he go with bar girls and gamble?
I don't gamble.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, no, I run a media company. That's about as big a gamble as I need to take, let me tell you. I have to work with goons like this.
With bread in their hair.
Yeah.
What does bread in the hair mean?
Well, actually,
No
the
idea.
comment said, with, and then a picture of bread in his hair. It was a baguette. So I was like, it couldn't be with a baguette in his hair. So I think he
That's the
meant bread
key.
in his hair.
Yeah, it's the conspiracy.
Yeah.
People with baguettes in their
are you
hairs
doing
telling
under
lies.
this?
Maybe he's calling you French.
Probably not looking very good on the camera.
What?
Well, you were stroking something on your leg.
Oh, I was
What?
I was concocting the next BS
Just
fact.
rewind and have a look. You'll see what I mean.
I don't know what's going on in the shoe. You've got a spoon in your hand for some reason. You've got a bell to your right.
Anyway,
I'm in control.
Right,
By
next.
the way, I've also
Next.
got the desk.
Oh no.
I've got the
he
control.
likes to remind us he's in control.
Full control.
Anyway,
Oh, it doesn't go down. Oh, there we are.
oh, there you go. You regained control.
Yes.
Can I go next?
Your
Yes.
turn.
All right. ASAM says, if you want to protect yourself from serious illness with COVID, lose some weight, exercise, and eat healthy, wash your hands. The great majority of deaths and serious illnesses is people with with comorbidities, obesity being the number one and diabetes number two. If you want to live longer, then live healthier.
Well, I think that's just good general advice. And with or without COVID, exactly what you said would be a true fact. So thank you.
Do you, I don't know. I mean, the problem is, I think the public health authorities, they keep focusing on like, okay, get vaxxed, wash your hands, wear a mask, blah, 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 blah. But they don't talk about these other things of like ways to boost your immune system. Basically, other preventative measures that you can do implement at home. It's almost like always relying on these things. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, in the early days, with the first strain of COVID-19, the actual immune system, the disease was using the body's immune system to turn it against the people, and they were getting their lungs flooded with moisture, and they were sort of drowning, and that's why they were being put on ventilators. The later strains didn't quite have the same situation. It was called a something storm.
We'll take your word for it.
But yeah, so having the immune system didn't necessarily make you immune to COVID-19, but just being generally healthy is going to give you a better survival rate.
Absolutely, yeah.
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 All right, another one from you, Tim.
Oh, from me. I've got one from Madraz, and he or she said, "What is this land transport chief position? Is it a government position or some self-appointed hack representing the taxi mafia?" Now, this is in relation to a story that we reported yesterday on the Thaiger about the Phuket Land Transport Department saying, here is the list of prices for travelling in Phuket, and he basically backed the taxi in the taxi mafia, as been referred to here by Madras. And the one thing he didn't mention was meters. Not a single mention of the fact that the taxis perhaps should have meters, like most places in the world,
Yes.
and certainly in Bangkok. This going through the comments, people saying, but Phuket's different from Bangkok. Stop comparing them. But I mean, why?
Why do they use?
It's just
People go forward in kilometers the same way.
exactly,
meters the same way.
They're in the same little Toyotas, the same cars, the
Same fuel, same service.
fuel, roughly the same roads.
Yes.
I think the problem is that people travelling to Phuket, they feel ripped off because the taxi fares are so high. And whether it's a good price or a bad price, the fact is it should be the same roughly anywhere you go around Thailand.
Or some transparency, right? Like, let's say if you're going to charge 600 baht, well, okay, if you're going, from one side of the island to another, then yeah, that's fair. But there needs to be some transparency on that, instead of just like people just throwing out numbers, right?
And people using their apps, and they're saying, hey, on Grab and on Bolt, which are two apps that can be used down in Phuket, they're saying the fare is less than a third the price. So why is the taxi so expensive? And of course, a lot of the Grab and the Bolt drivers are saying there are parts of the island they won't go because the taxi gangs are scary.
Even if they did get taxi meters, it's no different to the price that they've already set. So even though... Have you ever used a taxi meter in Phuket?
Yes, a few years ago, I used to travel. Well, I've been going up and back quite often, but this is before my Thaiger days.
Yeah.
I got in the taxi and I said, "Please use the meter." "Oh, meter not work." So I went to get out of the taxi. He said, "Oh, meter okay," and off we went, and we used the meter.
But it still adds up to pretty much the same thing. So normally, let's say the taxi rip-off price would be 600 baht. The meter ends up like 550, 580, something
I
like
made
that.
a video about this, and I'm sure it's somewhere on our YouTube channel where
The
actually
speed at that the number changes is absolutely...
they turbocharged the taxi meters,
Yeah.
and so this was another scam to try and get around people being forced to use their meters. It's a very difficult problem, and successive governors, the army, the police, they've all tried to break this cabal.
So as locals, how do you guys get around it? Because for me, I just rent a car, right? But how do you guys live with it?
I own a car. Jay's got his Rolls Royce, and I've got a scooter.
Okay.
I use my scooter very, very often. I love the scooter. The wind through my hair. It's a great feeling. I love it.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Your hair would just blow off. The whole lot.
The wig would blow off.
Yeah, the sticky tape just would not hold it down. Which
At least it'll blow off all the breadcrumbs. So
Andrew Ginn has a problem with you, Tim, and he says, Tim may
next.
be wearing a suit, but to raise the tone, he should wear a proper shirt with a collar and tie.
no, I think this is fine.
I think it's cool.
It's
last
cool,
week
man.
I did
Andrew was
wear.
a bit harsh,
I wore
yeah.
a suit coat with a t-shirt.
and it looked good.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of a mod hip guy, and I was.
All you need is the thick frame glasses, and you're set.
Well, John Lennon glasses,
Yeah.
the round ones.
You're like an Australian Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, look, we all basically dress ourselves, and we don't have a sort of a set trend.
I'd hope to think we dress ourselves.
So I lend Natty some of my dresses, and we share.
They're really nice, Tim.
Yeah, sure.
So those were where they came from. Okay.
Sure. So, but I think we've got a new program coming up, and we are going to have a dress code on that. So hopefully we'll pick up our game a bit.
All right.
Next,
All right, I'm on my last comment. Anyone have any left?
I've got a few. Anthony says, "Don't wear a mask. Don't pay the fine. Go to court if it gets that far. Let us know how you went.
Yeah, Anthony, let us know how you went. If you're not going to wear a mask and you're not going to pay a fine,
Great recommendation.
let us know how that goes for you.
For other people.
Yeah, thanks a lot for doing that for us.
We understand that there has been some controversy about exactly what the law is regarding mask wearing at the moment. All I can say is that at the moment, if you are coming to Thailand, most Thais would be expecting you as a foreigner and fellow Thais to be wearing a mask. Whether it's an actual law or not, I probably wouldn't be trying to defy the situation at this time. If you want to take on the Thai police and the Phuket judicial system, the Thai judicial system, good luck to you. I probably wouldn't want to do that during a holiday.
Right.
If you want to make a stand, it's probably not the thing I'd be doing it on at the moment.
Okay. Here's another hot topic. Michael Smith says, I'd love to see the evidence, the information that determines that almost all clusters of infection started from alcohol consumption and strict controls must remain in place. How does that Thai official came up with this conclusion that almost all clusters came from alcohol?
Well, it's actually right. Most of the clusters have come from entertainment venues. I mean, the big wave we had last year, we sort of know started, as you well know, because you used to frequent the area around Tonglaw and Ekamai, some of those big gentlemen's clubs, the places that you frequent, better known as brothels. And there were even a lot of well-known Thai MPs who were frequenting some of these locations, and they are places where people drink.
Tim, do you really think it only comes from that? It doesn't come from anything else? Markets, schools, vaccination sites, hospitals. It's only alcohol consumption.
He's talking about the clusters, and those well-publicised clusters were in some of those. And then it was Chonburi when they sort of started to open up Pattaya after November the 1st, was it? With the first test and go. Then another surge started there, and it was basically clusters in these nightlife venues. So, I mean, the Thai government's not wrong saying that these are places where a lot of these clusters happened. The evidence is there. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, I mean, we're not here to say whether they should or shouldn't be there, but that's why the government are risk averse about the nightlife. That is the reason.
Tim's anti-entertainment.
Confirmed. Anti-entertainment at all.
Anti-entertainment venues. Here we go. Our last comment for today is from...
I've got one more.
Is from Robert New.
Oh, no,
who says,
Robert. Joe
Joe Rogan, Howard Stern, Tiger Bites. What might be the name for this genre? Shit show?
I don't get it.
Well, Robert is a big fan. Just to explain,
okay,
Robert is a huge fan.
So there's this guy called Robert New who is possibly Tim's number one fan. He watches every show. He comments on every show.
But he hates us.
But he hates us at the same time.
Well, what does that say about you? If you constantly, it's like a codependent, like some masochistic relationship.
I think
if
he
you're
seriously loves us. Yeah.
hating someone and like criticizing all the time, yet you can't get enough of them.
We just want to get Robert in the office one day and give him a huge, loving hug.
Yeah.
Just watch something else.
Mind you, if we are being compared to Joe Rogan and Howard Stern, anybody else?
Yeah. No, we made it.
We're pretty good company.
It.
I think it's because you respond. I think he loves the attention, right? Like when it's like when someone makes fun of their crush, right? And they like tease them and all like that. So maybe he secretly has a crush on you.
That's what Jet did when he had a crush on someone. He just bullied her.
Yes. So Robert,
you never had that. That's the thing, right? Nice.
I know.
Right? Stop
I know
it.
What you mean.
Robert sends us one message a week, and he thinks about it and he crafts it and he gets the words right and he must stress over it. He probably loses sleep over it, and then he sends it to us.
It's
once
like a
week.
marriage. It's a love-hate relationship. We love you, Robert.
He hates us.
We love you even when you hate us.
You got to commend the effort, though, for whether it was productive or not. That's up to him. I think he's.
One more here. We were saying that there aren't actually real fines for people not wearing masks.
Yeah.
Spicy Roads points out, and we'll all remember this, last year Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha was fined 6,000 baht, about $190. The governor of Bangkok wrote on Facebook.
Yeah, but
yes, he was fined.
Was he, though? Was he though? You see the receipt, and
We
you know,
didn't see a receipt, no, but it was well publicised.
was he vaccinated with whatever vaccine they got, and not the Pfizer, Moderna that they snuck in? You know, like, you believe what these people say?
We have to.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
Wanna-
he was fined.
Yeah.
Was he?
It was reported that he
It
was
was
fined.
reported. There we go. Yeah.
So the fact is that they believed, or somebody believed, that there were fines for people not wearing masks at that time. So you think we're confused about the wearing of masks?
Just don't let an example be made out of you. I wouldn't.
Yes.
I wouldn't attempt that.
If you're coming here at the moment, just wear your mask. And if you want to make a thing about it, just don't do it here in
But
Thailand.
if you do get fined, please send us a message with the receipt.
From the prison.
There we go. No. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Along with Anthony, you might meet him. You might see him in court too. Yeah.
Right. I'd like to say a quick thank you to Jet. Thank you, Jet.
Thank you as well. Thank you for having me here. It's always fun.
You're very welcome. And of course, thank you, Tim.
My pleasure. Thank you, viewer.
And thank you to Shy Behind the Buttons. We hope you have a great weekend. See you next week.